I suppose a number of things started happening. At the beginning of the show, I talk about how a load of friends were breaking up. And, you know, there were, in some cases, there were sort of monogamy issues.
It used to mean one marriage for life, but actually lifelong monogamy used to be a bit of an easier sell back then, didn't it? Because we only lived till about 30. So it was like, oh well, might as well marry you, not got long left. But now we've got a lot bloody longer. You've got to be careful, you pick someone you can tolerate really, haven't you?
You know, there were some friends who found out maybe their partner was having an affair, or you know, there were people in long relationships who were getting to that stage where things just seemed to get a bit too sort of familiar.
We do start off really happy, don't we, as the hormones are all surging around. And then it sort of slips down and 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 down to low point, which is typically 3 years.
I started reading around the topic because I suppose I myself was a bit frustrated with the fact that I am a serial monogamist, which was not necessarily my intention, but I have changed partners every few years. And it kind of seemed quite a disruptive lifestyle, really, you know, because if you build up your group of friends and your sort of home and all of that with someone, then it's very disrupted if you break all that up and then you start again with a new partner. So I just started to think, were there options out there? And I did not know much about polyamory at all. And I started reading and sort of going and talking to people, and read some books like Opening Up, which is a great one that I actually got out the library, which was great. I was quite impressed they had it. And when I looked it up, the next book that came up was Opening Up the Bible, which I bet the author of that wouldn't have liked those two to read together.
Some of my other survey respondents, 5 people were having an open relationship, like the gay men and the birds that we talked about earlier. And then a couple of people here were polyamorous. Polyamory, this was a new word to me. It sounded amazing, a new world of multiple consensual, loving relationships. Oh, it sounded amazing. But then there were 2 people who were polyamorous. What's really interesting was they were so bloody busy, because it's true. I was like, if you want to meet up and talk about this polyamory, you know, I want to find out about it. They were like, I might have an evening in June. Whereas I'd phone my monogamous friends, say, do you want to talk about monogamy? They'd be like, I'm free right now.
I mean, some audiences have really got into it and really had a laugh and really participated. Some audiences have actually been more thoughtful, and it's sort of been quite challenging to make it a really funny show, because actually some people start thinking about what it means to them. And of course, when you do think about it, it's very deep.
Thank you very much for that, Lewis. That's enlightening, isn't it? Look at this, look at this. Some people actually get really accurate and they actually calibrate the scale. That's often engineers, people with a scientific background.
And I've written a lot of serious articles about monogamy now as well, and how I feel about it, and how I feel that it's an assumption being made is quite an oppressive thing.
On the left-hand side of this picture, we've got some various relationship shapes that you can have. Like you might have a triangle where 3 people are in a relationship all together, or it might be one person who's got 2 partners but they're not together. You might have 4 people who sort of swap over, like a quad thing. You might have a W shape like this, the 2 V's joined together. And this spiral, that's not a relationship shape, that's just my mind going, wow. There's my unicorn here. Unicorn hunters is used to describe a male-female couple who are looking, seeking, searching for a mythical bisexual woman who's going to complete their dream love triangle. And of course she's called a unicorn because she doesn't exist. She's just a myth. And that's my polyamorous unicorn, with the polyamory symbol there.
I've kind of come around to thinking that these sort of threats that, you know, I've you know, been in relationships where we've kind of, perhaps jokingly, perhaps seriously gone, if you ever cheat on me, that's it. You know, if you ever kiss someone else, that's it. You know, and you make all these, you know, huge threats. And I think that's actually really damaging. And I think now I would kind of say, yeah, if you slept with someone else, I would probably feel a bit jealous and a bit hurt, but actually we would talk about it. And if you still wanted to stay with me, then we'd work it out, you know.
Question, is monogamy dead? I said, is monogamy dead? I said, and he said, well, maybe it's not dead, but maybe it's fatally wounded. I said, what?